Singapore. This is a multiracial, multi-religious and multilingual country. For over than half a century, Singapore has been maintaining this unique structure of hers by strengthening the harmony between its citizens. Here, people often associate a Chinese with Buddhism, a Malay with Islam, an Indian with Hinduism, and a Eurasian with Christian, although this is not always the case. Living in such harmony makes cross-cultural interaction a common situation. It happens due to religion conversion or even interracial marriage. This then results into questions like, what if race and religion are combined? What if faith and tradition were to coexist with each other? Together, we will find out in this short documentary titled Muslim Converts in Singapore Between Faith and Tradition. Among the 5 million people living in Singapore, only 15.6% are Muslims in 2020. On the same year, according to the Muslim Converts Association of Singapore, a total of 623 individuals have converted into Islam, making interfaith marriage a normal phenomenon in Singapore. The common stereotype that people have on converts is that they will not be able to practice their cultures and traditions once they have embraced Islam. Other misunderstandings include a rift between the person and his family, or converting into Islam means becoming a Malay. So, how true is this perception? Is it true that Islam does not allow Muslims to practice their customs and traditions? And if not, to what extent is practicing tradition can be allowed in a person's life? I asked two reverts to share their stories and experiences on practicing faith along with their cultures and tradition. Meet Mr. Firdaus Chia, a Singaporean Chinese Muslim who was previously a Catholic, and he embraced Islam on 2nd of November 2014. Next, let's meet Mrs. Misato Yamada, a Japanese Muslim who's residing in Singapore since 2014 and later on embraced Islam on the year of 2016.
There's also a stereotype that it's only for the Malays. So even for my parents in their time, they would think that it's a Malay religion. So I mean, you have Malay friends that say if you embrace Islam, they say you masuk Malayu. So so you get it from both sides. The Muslim side and the Chinese side also say the same thing.
My friend said, "Wow, Muslim is very strict religion. Can you adapt it? Can you stop drink alcohol? Can you stop eat pork?"
So as a Chinese, culturally we celebrate Chinese New Year. The misconception not only comes for the Muslim, but also from the Muslim about other other cultures also. They think that maybe some of them think maybe Chinese New Year is a religious thing, but it's not, because it's just about families gathering together, bonding again. It's like we make it once a year kind of gathering. So when I became a Muslim, I find that there's nothing wrong with that, and also I asked my ustaz and everything. These are all cultural practices that don't go against the Islamic faith. So we still practice it even as a Muslim. Qingming is basically just go to the grave and clean the grave and just pay your respects to the ancestors. So of course there's some elements of religiosity in the Qingming, okay, but doesn't mean as a Muslim you need to do those things like jousting or burning, because they are people who are not Muslim.
Last day of the year, so Japanese tradition is eat long noodle. Meaning so long means a long like a happiness, the prosperity, like that. Yeah, girls festival.
Oh, Girls Festival.
Yeah, that every year like the parents or please grow up with healthy, then a very sweet girl, like that's why. So like something, the doll, yeah, then a boy doll and a girl doll, then there's a decorate nicely, yeah. Then like nice pink and the rice cracker, eat the rice cracker, yeah. Then I check the ingredient. My mom sent the rice cracker from Japan. So then I check the ingredients. Oh, okay, can. Then we eat and just celebrate. Srigosan is 7 years, 5. Girls normally celebrate 3 years and 7 years. then wear nicely kimono, then take photo, then a nice dinner or lunches, then celebrate a relative. Yeah, that one also like play for grow very healthy and a good girl and nice girl like that.
So let's say you ask me, how do I feel like when I don't get to eat pork again, or when I don't get to eat drink alcohol, then it's okay, because I know that He loves me, Allah, and He wants me good for my health and everything, good for my spiritual life. I should avoid those things. So I just put it aside. Yeah. So typically, most Malay get this wrong. They thought bak means pork. It's nothing wrong lah, because you think bakwa, bak is pork, right? Actually, bak in Hokkien means meat. Meat. So meat, caramelized meat is bakwa. But it can be chicken, it can be beef, lembu, can be anything lah. Bak means meat. So when you see bakcang, means meat dumpling. It's not pork dumpling. It means meat dumpling. But it's just because Chinese feel that they like to eat the pork, and also because pork is a cheaper meat, they put the pork inside. So when they say bacang, they naturally assume it's pork already, because it's easier to sell the pork meat lah to the Chinese, right? So that's why there is a misconception that also from the Muslims or the Malay, thinking that it's actually pork, but actually it's not lah. It's actually just meat. So if you want to eat bak kut teh, it's meat. It's called meat bone soup. In direct translation, it's called meat bone soup. So you can change to lamb, you can change to beef, up to you.
Well, for me, actually, I'm not strong at alcohol. That's why the alcohol issue, nothing. Yeah, but alcohol and the Japanese are very strong, like a culture. We call it like after 5 culture. After 5 meaning more. After 5, let's go drink. Then talk more honest. Like with boss, talking with boss. For milin, normally Japanese dishes, most of the Japanese dishes use milin, but milin is made from alcohol, normally made from alcohol, so that's why I cannot use milin. I want to make this one, but I cannot use milin. How? Then it's easy like put sugar a bit, sugar and honey a bit, then cannot cook exactly same, but still okay. Pork, but still can use chicken. So that's why not so much trouble.
After hearing the thoughts and opinions from our interviewees, it is best for us to support our understanding by asking the expert. Let's go. In order to truly understand this issue, I meet Ustazah Bushra Habibullah from Muslim Converts Association of Singapore, MCAS, to hear her views from an Islamic perspective. She is a senior executive of Da'wah and handles MCAS monthly talks, as well as a Da'wah awareness training program.
We have seen the growth, subhanAllah, in the past few years. We have seen like between 600 to 700 conversion a year. Therefore, it's about an estimation of like 4 conversion per day. Yes, we have seen practicing tradition is something that is known in Islam as urf. There is a name for it. It's called urf, right? From the beginning of Islam, we have seen that urf is something that is not rejected totally in the religion, but it is categorized actually. There are urf that does not go against the religion. It's something that is called the norm of the country. It incorporates that culture into the religion if it can meet. It doesn't mean that once you convert to Islam, you leave everything that you have learned and known before. We can see that if the tradition does not go against the Sharia, especially that 5 things that Islam is all about, that protection of nafs, which is protection of your life, protection of your mind, protection of your religion, protection of your ird is your honor and your lineage, and then protection of mal, protection of wealth. If it doesn't go against these 5, then it definitely is something that is accepted, and Islam is diverse. We accept these things, inshallah.
As Singapore is a country of multiracial community, it demands us to be respectful and understanding towards one another. Thus, for people who come from different religion and for those who have been practicing their customs and traditions, it is not hard to adapt after embracing Islam. As said in the previous interview, Islam is such a wonderful religion which is not rigid and makes it easy for everyone to practice it. Therefore, people shouldn't cast away their tradition, for it is origins that make humans unique from one another. But keep in mind, while practicing them, they must align with all the Islamic rulings that have been set by the Quran and Sunnah. Hope this video gives deeper understanding to all viewers. Till then, Assalamualaikum.